can have your attention, please. If you're speaking this evening, we ask that you please sign in. We also ask that you speak at the podium or in front of the table. If you have any plans or any drawings, elevations, please lay them flat and have them face us so Charlie can take a view and have it as part of the overall record. If you do need to speak to one another, please take it in the hallway. It interferes with our opportunity to hear those that are speaking this evening. We're going to start this evening's meeting with a motion to open. Is there a motion, please?
I make a motion that we open this meeting of the Board of Architecture Review and Historic Preservation on March 26, 2018.
It's motion by Christina. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Second by Susan. All in favor? Rob? Aye. Christina?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
Aye as well. Welcome to the March 26th meeting of the Architectural Board of Review and Historic Preservation. My name is Curtis Highsmith, and I'm your chair. I'd like to introduce our panel for this evening. We have Rob Coburn, Christina Reddy, Susan Stevenson. Unfortunately, we will not have Jeff Broadleaf this evening, but we do have Zach Studenroth, our historic consultant, our Bo Robinson, our legal counsel, and Antoinette. Charlie, as always, we welcome you. We're going to start this evening's meeting with the minutes from our prior meeting. That would be March 12th, 2018. Did everyone have the opportunity to review?
Yes.
Any questions, comments, concerns, issues, modifications?
Rob, yes.
Let me just state that I reviewed them, but since I wasn't here, I'm not going to abstain.
Okay.
All right, so motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from our last meeting, March 12th.
That motion is by Christina. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Second by Susan. All in favor? Christina?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well, and abstain.
Love it.
And now there's a procedural matter on our agenda this evening for Wikipog 1 LLC, conditional reopen.
I believe you have an applicant present that wants to make a submission to the board.
Want me to go first? Good evening. Fernan Fischetti by Richard S. Fernan, 320 Hampton Road, Southampton. I'm going to hand a letter to the board. I've got a copy for council as well. And it's a short letter. I'll read it into the record. I'm presenting this letter to you this evening relative to the above referenced matter. That matter is the application of Wikipog 1 LLC, property situate 145 Wikipog Road, Southampton. This apparently was heard and approved by the ARB on March 12, 2018. I represent Michael Katz and Bridget Fitzgerald, who own 135 Wikipog Road, Southampton, New York, an adjoining property of the subject property. Ms. Fitzgerald has informed me that she and Mr. Katz never received notice of this application. Upon my looking into the matter in the building department with Diane, it was discovered that no affidavit of mailing was ever submitted to the ARB by the applicant, and none exists in the file or in the minutes. I brought this to the attention of your counsel, Albert W. Robinson, Jr., on Thursday, March 22, 2018. As such, this board was without jurisdiction to entertain the matter. Accordingly, I hereby request on behalf of my clients that this matter be reopened and that the decision rendered be vacated. Now, I thank you in advance for your cooperation.
Okay. Is there further discussion?
I did review the file, and I confirm with what Mr. Fernan just said, that at the time of the meeting, there was no affidavit of mailing in the file, so therefore the board did lack jurisdiction. I have engaged in a dialogue with Mr. Fernan to determine specifically what issues his clients have with regard to the project. That will take some time to unfold, days or a week or more so. In the meantime, since the board does not meet again for 2 weeks, it has been my recommendation that the matter be reopened, first of all, and that in order that there be no prejudice to either party, one way or another, that the decision be vacated pending either a resubmission of the application as is for the file or further proceedings of this board to actually engage in further testimony. So that it meets my standards. It's my recommendation that the application be reopened and the decision vacated. I would ask that you move so and so resolve.
What about the reposting and mailing?
That would be determined,
To be determined.
to be determined.
Okay. So the motion, is there
So
any,
it's an indefinite day to it's just a motion to reopen without a date, and continue it back on the agenda, and then a motion to vacate the decision previously rendered.
any discussion from the board?
No.
Okay. Anything further from either council? The motion would be for record.
From this motion?
As stated by council.
Stated by council. I'll make the motion. As stated by council, motion to reopen the application of Wikipog 1 LLC.
Vacate the prior decision.
Well, we're going to do one at a time, so we'll do the first is the reopen. That motion was done by myself.
I second the motion.
It's been seconded by Susan. All in favor, Rob?
Aye.
Christina?
Aye.
Okay. And then a motion to vacate the prior approval.
I make a motion that we vacate the prior approval.
That motion is by
I
Christina.
second that.
Second by Rob. All in favor, Rob?
Aye.
Christina?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We now have our sign applications for this evening. First application sign.
We need to move forward.
Kill it, Rob.
Okay. The first application is for Yippee Feet at 71 Hill Street for a storefront sign.
Your name for the record, please?
My name is Theodore Sirianos.
Okay.
My wife, Oprah, we call him here Chi Xiaoyan.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I'm Chinese, Qi Xiaoyan, that's my name.
Okay.
But
Okay.
English name,
Coco.
Coco. Yeah.
Okay, Coco.
Thank you.
Very good. This is for a storefront sign. It's a blue background. You have a sample of the actual blue background.
Yes.
This is the correct font that you're proposing?
Yes, exactly. That's covered 9 by 30.
Okay. What is the material of the sign that you're proposing?
It's plastic. What that?
PVC.
PVC.
It's like a PVC, 3/4 inches PVC.
Okay. Exactly.
ASAC, yes.
Name of the company, you have a telephone number and you have a suite number.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Any other decal, any other signs that you're proposing? Any decal in the window?
The window, I don't know. We're allowed to put any. That's what you.
Well, that's why I'm asking. Are you requesting this board to also put a?
We want to, if we can put on the window some stickers.
So if you were to propose that, it would have to come back before the board because I don't have samples of that.
Oh, we have to make the samples and then I have to bring it also. I didn't know, if you have inside. I thought only outside, if you put outside of the building.
Okay. So
We put them
even-
inside.
Even
That-
signs on the window.
Even signs of the window, okay.
Will there be any lighting, any lantern, any goose down lantern, or lights? Nothing?
No, that's it, and they want to lights, they have existing lights over there.
Nothing backlit or any type of?
No, nothing, sir.
All right. Rob, you have any questions?
I don't.
Christina?
No.
Susan?
No problem.
Any public comment on the application? All right. Motion to approve Yippee Feet.
I make a motion that we approve the sign application for Yippee Feet.
The motion is by Christina. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Second by Susan. All in favor, Rob?
Aye.
Christina?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next application, please.
Next application is for Hampton Pediatric Dental Associates, 97 North Main Street, Southampton, for a sign.
Hello, my name's Anthony Droz. I have some samples for you for the actual color of the sign. That would be the actual color, and those are some printouts. I believe the one that you have is just for the sign that we're actually getting permitting for, which is the top portion. The bottom portion of that sign is for a future sign tenant that may or may not come in the future.
Okay, so you're replacing the current derelict sign that's currently there?
Correct.
And you're replacing it with
That.
this sign? The pillars, are they wood, or can you describe the
4x4
material?
CCA insert woods with a 4-inch white PVC sleeve and caps.
Okay, and the sign is?
3/4 inch AZAC.
The name of the, I'm sorry, you have the address, the name of the company, as well as, well, the name of the company and I guess the doctor or dentist, correct?
Yep.
Will there be any lanterns or projectile lanterns?
We have no plans for adding any lighting. I don't recall if they have any, but we're not making any changes to anything that's there. We're just replacing the sign itself.
And nothing on the building, just the...
Correct.
Rob, any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Christina?
No.
Susan? Is there any public comment on the application? All right, motion to approve?
Make a motion that we approve the sign for Hampton Pediatric Dental Association.
I second the motion.
Motion by Christina, a second by Rob. All in favor, Rob?
Aye.
Christina?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
And aye as well. Good luck.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
She's such a good...
And our last sign application for the evening.
The last sign application is for the AT&T store at 42 Hampton Road in Southampton. It's to replace an existing sign with a new one.
Hi, Gina Sterling.
So these are several signs that you're proposing on site?
Yes.
All right, we'll go one by one. We'll start first with it would be the front store sign.
Correct.
This is the one replacing an existing sign?
Correct.
Is there new branding in the company or
There's new brand,
corporation?
they're taking the authorized retailer off,
Okay. Oh, so less.
Yeah.
and the backer panel is going to be a little bit taller than the one now.
Is it backlit in any way or any lamp?
Now it's external lighting, there's a gooseneck there already.
Sorry, pre-existing gooseneck?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're using the current existing, you're not adding any wattage, you're not adding
Nope.
any? Okay. Board members, any questions about the front sign?
No.
No questions. Looks nicer, I think.
Yeah.
I know,
Figure out what was different.
And the second would be the, and you would, just the internal, is this the doorway going?
Exactly, that's in the rear
In the
of
rear.
the store, yep.
So it's a rear recognition, so the rear placard sign, it's just replacing what currently exists?
Exactly, and
In
taking
kind?
the authorized retailer.
No further lighting or lanterns being proposed? Board members, any questions?
No questions.
Questions?
No.
And on the door, there are decals that you're replacing. And again, you're just removing the one, the new branding, which is taking away authorized retailer, correct?
Correct. And adding, I think it's Spring Mobile,
Spring Mobile?
yeah,
Yes, Spring Mobile.
yeah,
Okay. And then the hours of the company.
that's correct.
All right. Board members, any questions?
No questions.
No.
That's it. Is there anything further, any other
it.
modifications or changes?
Nope.
All right, board members, there are no further questions of the applicant? Any public comment on the application? Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion that we approve the 3 storefront signs for AT&T on Hampton Road.
Motion by Christina, is there a second?
I second the motion.
Second by Susan, all in favor. Rob?
Aye.
Christina?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
And aye as well. Be well.
Thank you. And no, we don't get physical permits, right? We're just, the approval is good to go.
You get physical permits from the building department
We will,
if you
okay.
do sign this.
Okay, thank you.
That concludes our sign permits for this evening. Application for 472 First Neck is still closed for written decision until further notice.
That's April 23rd, Curtis.
Yes.
And I'll instruct Diane to modify the agenda to show that.
Yes, sir. All right, first application for driveway gates.
No, we skipped Amy Mulderry. Number 2.
In the file is a decision approving the application. An affirmative vote on the motion will be to approve the
That the original?
modification to the house.
Okay. The motion would be to approve written decision by council.
I make a motion that we approve the written decision by council for Amory Mulberry on 80 Post Crossing.
Motion by Christina, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Rob, all in favor, Rob?
Aye.
Christina?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well.
Okay.
All right, so now, pushing along.
Please.
Driveway gates?
Yes.
First application,
So
please.
this is an application for 784 Meadow Lane, an application for driveway gates.
Lisa Poyer with Inner Science on behalf of the applicant. You have the plans in the file. I just brought an additional copy here. It's metal posts with wood slats. It meets all your regulations requiring the 50% open space. And I just brought a sample of the color of the metal. That would be the driveway gate. And then the wood interior would match
So the wood would be painted,
to this color.
what's the spacing between the The openings?
Is 4.5 inches?
So it's greater than 50% transparency?
Yes.
Will there be any lanterns lighting? Will there be any lanterns lighting on the posts?
No.
Or any projectile going towards the fence?
No.
Rob, any questions?
No, but just a procedural issue. Did the office contact you? There was a discrepancy between historic district, non-historic district on
Yes,
some of the
we-
paperwork.
we-
That's been
yes.
corrected. I have no questions about this.
This application is not in the historic
It
district.
is.
It is.
It is in the historic
It
district.
is.
So that's just not labeled as such. Okay,
We've marked in one spot and not the other spot.
Yes, there were two separate markings.
thank you. Christina, comments?
No, I'm fine.
Susan?
I have no problem.
Is there any public comment on the application? All right, because it is in the historic district, the decision has to be in writing, so at our next meeting, we'll have written decision by council. Any questions?
Thank you.
Motion to close for written decision by
Make a
council.
motion that we close the application of 784 Meadow Lane for the gates for a written decision by our council.
Motion by Christina, is there a second?
A second?
Second by Rob, all in favor, Christina?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
And an aye as well, thank you. Public hearing, non-historic, first application. I was referred to the,
Sorry.
This is Christopher and Jean Lynch at 58 Roscoe Drive. It has been referred to the Board of Appeals, the ZBA.
that adjournment still stands, so we move on to our next application, please.
Okay. Next application is Robert McCabe and John Schacht at 100 Pulaski Street. And this is for approval to construct a first and second story additions with front and rear covered porches.
The applicant present? We'll wait for second call.
All right, moving on then. 31 Meadowmere Place. This is an application to construct a two-story single-family dwelling with attached garage. And there has been a letter added to the file which just requested an adjournment from March 12th. That it be postponed to the next ARB meeting, which would be this one.
Do we have an affidavit of posting and mailing in the file, Rob?
Thank you. I do not see one.
That one isn't it, that correspondent?
This, no, that's a full.
Take your time.
Take it all
Take it all out.
It's not that easy to find.
There's another folder, this one.
That's the,
It doesn't say what it is.
that's the mailing. No?
Well, that's not affidavit.
Oh,
It says affidavit of mailing and affidavit of posting.
There is an affidavit of posting and an affidavit of mailing.
Yes.
So you have jurisdiction.
The applicant's requested to adjourn until today's meeting?
Yeah, it was
From a prior meeting. So is the applicant present?
no, we had this last time.
Neighbor came.
They didn't come. Remember it had the garage?
Yeah, the neighbor came.
Hold it off for second call.
okay.
Next application, please.
Next application is Meiser Holdings at 124 Burnett Street, and this is exterior alteration to an existing pool house.
Check the affidavit of posting now. Good evening. Just checking for the affidavit of posting and mailing.
I submitted them at the last meeting. Kirk Lehman, AML Architecture.
Yeah, you got it. Fulvio Massi.
There are affidavits both of posting and mailing.
At the last meeting, you had some concerns about the metal roof, so we spoke with our client, and they're comfortable switching to a wood shingle roof.
So you submitted new plans in showing the wood roof?
We did. We dropped off several copies, and we have a few more tonight if you need them.
That's what I think those are ours.
Sorry,
It's okay.
I saw it today.
What type of roof? You say it's going to be a wood roof?
Wood shingle.
Wood shingle?
Taper sawn, 18-inch taper sawn.
Board members, any questions, any comments about the wood roof?
No, I think it's a major improvement in terms of this, how it appears in such small lots.
Okay. Christina?
No, good, thank you.
Rob? All good. Any public comment on the application? Thank you for making the modifications that some board members had some concerns over, as well as neighbors. So the application, sorry, parcel's located in the,
No,
I'm sorry.
that's fine.
So we can vote. Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve the application of Misa Holdings on Burnett Street.
I second the motion.
All in favor? Christina?
Aye.
Aye. Susan?
Aye.
Jeff?
No, Jeff.
I'm sorry, Rob.
Rob.
And I'm an aye as well. Can I have that?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We are missing the last two files and one history.
Where's Pheasant Lane? It's huge.
Which one is that?
Two of the files are missing, I don't.
Yeah.
Is that Pheasant Lane?
What?
That's the HCA, I have one that's over there.
I saw them today.
I know, I
Do we have
was in
access
the-
upstairs?
I was in the building department today.
Maybe they got signed.
So we're missing one thing, that's not good. So, two, all right, we'll see what happens. That's Mulberry, the written decision that we had.
We have no file at all?
There's no files, those are planning board files over there. The Hampton's HDA was in the bottom, I found that one. That's it.
But we're not
looking at that.
We're not looking at that, that's the germ.
Oh, it's the germ, that's it, that's the only thing I saw there. I'll look again, I just looked twice, but they're not
Okay,
there.
so it would be Peter Wittich and Dragana Latrovic.
Pheasant Lane was huge.
They're not here.
The file is the hearing thing?
Evidently,
Well, we have plans. You can make a copy of the
we wouldn't know about,
We don't know about affidavits.
oh,
Excellent. All
there
right,
you go.
great. Next application, please.
Man with the plan.
This is on Peter?
Yeah, Peter Wittich. John Bennett, Jim McChesney is here to present the plans, and I just some initial remarks, and then I'll let Jim talk about the plans. There was a house that was approved on this property some time ago, and then our client went and retained Mr. McChesney. And I think you'll agree, as did the neighbor, that I think the plans are a little less grand, a little bit more humble. That's, of course, a relative thing, but and there had previously been approved a roof deck on the prior approved plans, which I have for you if you want to see. That there's no longer a roof deck proposed, so that approved item is off the table. The house is somewhat larger, but not significantly so, and certainly conforms to the GFA requirements. Hopefully you'll have correspondence of Douglas Squires at 111 Pheasant, who states, among other things, the proposed plans represent, this is the neighbor, represent an improvement over the previously approved plans. Now, Mr. Squires did have concerns about roof decks, that's gone. He had concerns about making sure that the privet hedge on the property was maintained, and Jim will hand these in for you. He has a copy of we took the previously approved plans that were drafted by Aries Design, and these are the previously approved plans. Not one leaf has changed. Hand those up, excuse me. And only the footprints changed because the house. but the planting plan has not changed at all. And one of the things that you'll see is on the southerly border, which is where 111 Pheasant is, not only is their existing privet not going to be changed, but it's going to be augmented. So again, this is not a new site plan, other than the fact that the footprint of the house changed, so we merely changed that. And again, the existing privet will be maintained and augmented on the southerly boundary. I think that's it. Jim can present the plans, and if you wanted to see the contrast between the house that you previously approved, I have that if you want that. Jim?
When was the previous approval?
Months ago. I remember it going in.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. You know what? I don't want you to be confused. This is the previously approved plan.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
If that might jog your memory. Yeah.
What we've proposed is a typical shiggle-style house, all traditional materials. We wanted to keep the roof line fairly simple and, reminiscent of a real Southampton cottage. So
you've eliminated the bells and you just went with a straight gable?
Correct. And then 3 reverse gables off of the back. Traditional windows, we don't have any real Palladian windows. Everything is very rectangular. Just with an eye to keep it traditional and more simple.
Rob, you have any questions?
I had a few. On elevation, the second floor window above the porte cochere, or the opening, I should say, appears to have columns on each side.
They're actually pilasters that are attached to the,
Those don't appear in the rendering that I saw.
They will be built. I mean, it's just, the rendering is kind of just at a smaller scale.
Okay.
But they're meant to be pilasters that will match the square columns at a smaller scale.
And is the cupola, is that on anything?
I'm sorry?
Cupola? There's like...
Yeah.
Over the porte
cochere.
That makes me uneasy. It just seems to be sticking up in front of already a fairly elaborate situation.
The structure is pretty far
Out?
out.
You have a site plan? Yeah. Is it on the site plan?
It would be right here.
You're saying you have issue with it?
It's not a make or break, but it just seems out of place with all these sort of...
In the rendering, it looks
the
like it's...
masculinity of the design.
It looks like it's way back. Is that a bad thing?
No, I like that part. It's just that little thing on top is curious.
It's a traditional element that's used a lot.
Right, I know that, but it just seemed to be...
It struck me as a level of decoration that doesn't exist. You've simply done a great job of simplifying versus what Mr. Bennett showed, and it's a little fussier or fancier.
I mean, I'm certain
some of the rest.
we would be happy to eliminate it if that was an
I'm not
issue.
going to make you eliminate it, but I find it curious.
I agree. Exactly.
Christiane?
Okay.
Yes, I'm fine.
Be fine with
I had one other question, just about the garage and the projection of the garage. Can you talk to me about, I always get a little concerned with the massing of a garage that comes out sort of in front of a house.
Well, I mean, the idea of it was really that because of the way the lot is situated, I thought that the best location for the garage was back here so that you kind of immediately pass
Get
it.
past it.
And really the whole entrance to the house with the round driveway, I think you'll pass the house or the garage part immediately. I would be focused on the cupola.
The parking circle sort of focuses you on the main form of
That's
the
the
house.
idea, yes.
Understand, okay. And I know, it's, I guess I would just say, and it's outside maybe our purview, but I appreciate that you're trying to get past it and that you will get past it quickly coming in, but if your client would consider some landscaping there, it just...
Oh, there's plenty of landscaping that will be...
That was my question, my only question.
The renderings, it looks like it's
We're showing,
Off out there.
we're showing the planting plan, just the perimeter. I mean, obviously, there's going to be a lot more planting
In the
on
front.
the inside. And I did the renderings to,
Show the
so
house.
that you could see the
Okay.
house. I didn't want to hide it behind trees.
Yeah, but that was actually my only question, is because all I see the
Perimeter.
the perimeter, and I
Right.
saw no detail as to what any other vegetation planting there's going to be added to the
Well, we
parcels.
felt that the big concern was the perimeter planting for the last one. And so we wanted to obviously maintain that. And, you know, we're certainly going to do a lot of landscaping on the main part of the house.
All right, board members, you feel comfortable with the landscape plan as submitted?
I do.
Is there any public comment on the application? Thank you for simplifying. Never.
Well, you have a couple.
There's more in the building.
Challenge I have right now is I can re-vote on the application, however, I won't be able to sign the building permit until I see the file. So we'll approve it for now, and we
We don't have the
create
file.
I'll
surfaces
go in and
sometime
sign the
soon.
building
Oh,
permit.
okay. Well, one of you will be around to sign the building permit.
I'll go in tomorrow and sign it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Someone will be there. Motion to approve.
Motion that we approve the application of Peter Ovich on Pheasant Lane.
Motion by Christine, is there a second?
A second motion.
Second by Susan, all in favor, Rob? Christine, Susan?
Aye.
And I'm
Thank you very much.
The next one, again without a file, is Dragana Vlatrovich at 120 Leland Lane, construction of a pool house, exterior alterations to existing dwelling.
Yes, that's it for David. Good evening.
Good evening.
This is Leland at the corner of Old Town.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Your name
That's
for the
a
record?
famous red house.
Your name for the record, please?
My name is Dragana Vlatkovic. I'm the owner of the house together with my husband, Vlatka Vlatkovic. We bought a house with... should I stay here or I can also move?
You can move.
Okay. The house itself landed so nicely as a passive solar house because it's almost right positioned on the south side, on the right side, oriented towards south, and the sunroom, the existing sunroom, was in the past used as a passive solar feature. But that feature actually made the house extremely dark on the inside. And after doing the inspection, we found out that the body of the structure is very solid. Roof had some outdated structural elements, and the asphalt shingle was old. And it had on the inside a convoluting maze of the interior little rooms because at some point it was used as a medical office in a two-story area, and they did a lot of partitions in the 80s, and they are still original appliances from the 70s. But the body was really solid, and we decided to really not change the shape of the house, but play with what's there and then just update the roof structure and the finishes. So what we are proposing as the final look is simplifying the structure, raising by 5 feet in all areas, still confining to the requirements below 30 feet of the maximum height, and updating the structure on the inside, keeping the main living area still one floor, and the bedroom areas are now situated in a two-story area. And we are creating this dormer in order to allow a little bit more headroom, because what we have right now is a salt box roof. It's an existing storage area that we are converting to the bedroom. As a result of increasing the number of the bedrooms, we are updating the septic system. We're in a process of the approval.
Yeah. We don't need that.
Because we have potentially 6 bedrooms, we created 4 outside parking places and 1 in a garage. The current garage is very prominently facing the Leland Lane, and we are turning towards the fence of the high school. And instead of having two-car garage, we are reducing to the one-car garage. And this allows us to create a space for the future pool. And the current sunroom that is usually not used, it was not used by the previous owner, we are demolishing it and creating the open porch. That open porch opened up the south side facade, and by eliminating one car space from the garage, we created space for the future pool. And this is now confining to the current regulations of being 20 feet away from the neighboring parcel.
Interesting. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I created also the comparison for the interior side. We are opening up the areas. You can see the accommodating space from the previous medical offices, and this was the original house before they added this addition in late 70s. So we're just opening up and creating new staircases. That the current staircase is circular, which is very uncomfortable in this two-story area. So we are creating a straight staircase and then a new service staircase to the basement.
The house itself is going to be cedar shingle?
Cedar shingle combined with siding. I have the samples here. A hardy plank for the siding with a 20-year finish. Natural cedar, and this is the roof color. And then for all of the dormers, we are proposing to have the small dormers, not this big ones. For these dormers, we are proposing metal roof in the same color, which you can see from the color rendering. I included also color rendering in your package, so we kind of blend with the asphalt shingle, just as a design feature.
The chimneys are there.
Asphalt shingle. Oh, sorry, cedar siding.
You're cedering the, yeah. Okay. Normally, typically, we ask that our applicants, especially specifically in this area, and that the chimney be a stone or brick, not cheap.
Okay. That would not be a problem. Because we have interior fireplace, and we are proposing an exterior fireplace, so we can finish that exterior fireplace in stone.
I see the little Juliet balcony out the rear, but you're facing the school, so I don't think the school has any issues with privacy.
Yeah, because you can see the proposed pool house is covering the view, so it will be total privacy. It looks almost like a courtyard. You can see that from the layout of the landscaping. We are enclosing from both sides with a fence to provide the security for the pool.
Rob, you have any comments?
I had a couple questions, and let me get to the right page too. I'm looking at this page that shows the proposed colors for the east facade.
Yes.
And just a question, all the various roof lines we see there, there are, by my count, 6 or 7 different angles. Are those all existing roof lines? Or adding any of those?
The roof line, you can see from the existing.
On the east.
This could be a comparison. This is the east side. So the east side became a little bit more intricate.
I mean, I know that's a view that people won't see head on, but I have some concerns about the number and the different angles on the roof lines. It's a challenging property, and I appreciate that someone's going to take it on. It looks like it's been added on to 2 or 3 times over its life. And this is, it'll be nice to see work done to this house.
So one of the, sorry that I'm interrupting you, one of the line that you see is the newly created porch roof. That's the one behind the garage. And then behind that is the living area, and you have actually the dormer window. Because we're keeping 8-foot high walls, the existing 8-foot high walls, and then with a new roof structure, we're increasing the interior height and adding the dormer windows for extra lighting.
Okay.
So the dormer is actually adding to the complexity of the roof.
Okay. And from the more public views, which are from the north and from the west, the roof lines are a little more harmonious. So the question as to whether they could be simplified a little bit to the extent that they can be seen from the east facade.
Yeah, from the east facade, the reason why it landed as it is, when you're looking from the north, the biggest problem with this property is it was very hard to find the entry door.
Yes.
And it has about 3 entry doors from various sides. So we are using the existing bay window and recessing, because we are not confining with the property shape. It's already a little bit bigger, so we cannot add any awning. So in order to create a protected entrance, we're removing this window and recessing by 3 feet in. So this is becoming now a prominent entrance. And if we kept the same height, then it would be very squatty, very long. So by increasing this height, and keeping the same height left and right for the garage and the living area and the dining area, that's how the east facade.
The angle on that north facade on the entryway appears to match or closely match the angle on the other gable, the 2-story gable. So I don't have a problem with that. I did want to just confirm what you've just confirmed, which is that the entry door is now that French door in
yes, exactly.
I would love to see a little greater prominence to it, and I'm not an architect, but to me, that end looks like an old porch that's been renovated nicely, but it doesn't speak to being a front door. And I still have a sense from the plans or the elevations anyway, that there isn't an obvious front door. So I would love to, if there was some way you could make that more obvious.
What we are doing is we are creating the entrance, delineating with the columns on the outside of the street from the Leland view, and there are 2 columns. It's kind of hard to see because it's 2-dimensional on the facade elevation, and of course we'll add some lighting, facade number, so all of that will create more prominence. That's why we made it a little bit higher in order to emphasize that's the entry door.
So in that recessed area around that door, it's just going to be sort of a clean edge to the siding, and then it recesses in off of the siding?
With 2 columns.
By the columns.
The columns are not at the house, they're out at the walkway. Is that what you're saying?
They're inside of the recess. You can see them from, if you look at the floor plans.
Okay.
You can see them on the floor plans.
I see. And how far is that, how deep is that recess?
3 feet.
Is there lighting in that recess?
Yes.
Okay, I don't have any more questions.
Christina?
No, I mean, I agreed with Rod about a little concern about not being a visible front door, but you've explained it better to me. But I do have an issue with the shingled chimneys. I think that we try to discourage them in the village in this area, and I would like to see the chimneys not shingled.
Sure. That's not a problem, because anyway, it could blend very nicely with the surface material that we can use around the exterior fireplace and just continue up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Susan, comments?
I don't really have any. It's an awkward situation, but
it is nice to see they are fixing
But it's not a red thing with the gutter hanging, going out and then
20 feet out.
Yeah. It's to me a little busy, but I don't see how you can unbusy it without making it look worse. So how about that? So I have nothing more to say.
The alternatives are to tear it down, pick up, build something bigger. which...
But we don't prefer
So
that.
you've taken...
Because we would rather recycle the material. For example, the plan is to recycle the roof joist that we are going to remove into some floor joists that we are going to need in order to reframe, so in order to preserve what's there, but just improve it.
I think it's a busy corner to begin with.
Yeah.
There's a lot of transit, whether it's going to the hospital or going to the school. It's just a very high trafficking area. And I think what you're doing, what you're proposing, what exists now in comparison to what you're proposing, I think it's a vast improvement. You're removing the front garage and trying to tuck it back and hide it away from the street. Takes away from that little urban look. The chimney can't. You brick, stone, find something that's more in common with the area. I have no issue with the second-story deck. It's fine. It's not obviously it's looking onto the school, so it'll be your discretion on what you want to see for the school. That front entry, I get what you're saying, but there's still, I believe there's still a way to because this is a highly traveled area, and I believe there's still a way to create a little more imaginative entryway than what's being proposed. Not necessarily, I know you can't have a front stoop, you have setback or issues in terms of, I understand that.
Are you right at the setback? Is the front of the house right at the setback?
No, it's beyond.
It's beyond, so it would be adding to the nonconformity.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's
How
no
about
way.
if they embellished it in some way with a broader surround?
It's just that it really looks like you're going out to the backyard. It looks like a entryway to a patio more than it does a front
We
entryway.
believe that with the landscaping, that will be differently.
3 feet is a pretty deep recess.
Yes, so with the landscaping, it will lead, when you look at the preliminary plan for the landscaping, you have the posts and the kind of gateway towards the door. So the post outside will be defining the driveway entrance and also the front door entrance.
Walkway.
All right. We definitely will need to see a set of plans without the shingles.
Sure.
But other than that, I don't think there are any other objections from the other board members.
If you're going to reconsider that, I would ask if you would think about maybe making that entry around the door, the surround around the door, the setback, a foot and a half or 2 feet wider on each side.
Unfortunately, you know why not? You can see from the floor plan, in order to have the interior design to work with the existing plumbing, and we're trying to fit the most economically. So if you look at the layout, if I recess more, then I'm losing too much on each side, so then I don't have usable
I think it just means to make the surround, is that what you're saying?
I was wondering if the setback could be wider.
Oh, you were, okay.
But yeah, I was.
Could we address that with the different type of trimming and some small architectural features?
Maybe the trim should be a little wider.
If you would just consider whether there's something you could apply on the outside.
And the other thing that we could also do, instead of having the flat ceiling, we can go with a sloped ceiling, maybe to follow that. That's another alternative. That will increase the height in front of the front door.
So you say, in other words, you can't have a overhang.
Yeah, but instead of having this recess with a flat ceiling, we can go with the high ceiling because we are having scissor trusses anyway. So we can create that sloped ceiling.
I think that just makes it busier. What would happen if you just...
Appreciate it.
The trim, you're calling them posts?
Yes.
They're external, yes?
They're external posts, yes.
But they're in the setback, right? They're sort of
They're inside of that recessed entrance.
They're engaged.
They're three-dimensional?
Yes, they're three-dimensional. They're square...
square columns in the setback area.
Yeah, because I cannot project anything outside.
Foot into the 3-foot setback.
Yeah, that's the limitation.
All right, I give up. I don't know what this is.
Is there any public comment on the application?
It's not the word, you know. It needs...
This will be a big improvement.
Is your architect here?
I'm a designer.
You're a
This
designer?
is
You're not a
my-
licensed
This is
architect?
her.
No, but my engineer. She's going to be the engineer of record.
Okay, all right, so just need to have a set of plans showing the chimney and a sample of the brick you'll be using
For the next meeting or for the application?
for the next meeting.
Should I come in person, or we can just submit to the building department?
I'm in person just to see if there's any questions.
Somebody should.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Thank you very
Nothing
much.
further from the public? So you need to prepare yourself. You're asking the board to adjourn so you can come back with a set of plans that will, your alternatives, correct?
Yes.
All right. Motion to approve applicant's request to adjourn until the next meeting.
I make a motion that we approve the applicant Gregana Petrovic request to adjourn to our next meeting.
Motion by Christina. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Rob. All in favor, Rob?
Aye.
Christina?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Silence.
All right, so first application, historic, it's been adjourned until May 14th. It stands on that adjournment. This was the first time that this file is being requested to adjourn until May 14th.
I'm actually looking at that because I thought it said that it's a letter. It says letter
It's at
request.
least the second, maybe the third.
We've had this adjourned
I think it was extended. This
for a
was,
huge long time.
Extended several times.
yeah.
Hampton's was to May 7th.
Hey, right?
So they're actually.
So they're extending this, what I'm asking. Yeah, that's what-
Yeah.
All right, so we're actually approving the request to extend until the 14th, but council, it's been some time since this has been.
It's very actively been going on. They've got also matters, it's currently active in front of the planning board, and they want to try and work the planning board procedure and ARB together, so
Okay.
it's a very active application.
Okay, all right. So a motion would be to approve the applicant's request to adjourn until May 14th, 2018.
So moved.
Motion by Curtis, second by Rob. All in favor, Rob?
Aye.
Aye.
Christina? Susan?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Next application, please.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That was the,
We have two
Go
recalls.
back to-
Two recalls.
There's
nobody here.
nobody here.
How about,
All right, so
okay.
the recall for 100 Pulaski Street. The applicant's not here, no one present.
What I heard in the building department is that
They believe they are done.
they believe all it was the landscaping plan, and they don't believe they need more landscaping.
Well, they'll figure it out sooner or later.
Third no show. on
This
that.
is third no show, right? All right, so we didn't let her out to them? We said one already, or?
No, not
Okay,
last
we
time.
need a letter out there with some type of clarification, where they are with their application. Motion to adjourn the application until the next meeting.
I make a motion that we adjourn the application of, which one was it?
100 Pulaski Street.
100 Pulaski Street to our next meeting.
Motion by Christina, is there a second?
I second the motion.
Second by Susan, all in favor, Rob? Christina?
Aye.
Susan? Aye. I'm an aye as well. And second call for
Meadowmere Place, 31 Meadowmere Place.
applicants not present. Motion to adjourn the application till the next meeting.
I make a motion that we adjourn 31 Meadowmere Place to our next meeting.
Motion by Christina, is there a second?
I second.
Second by Rob, all in favor, Rob?
Aye.
Christina? Susan?
Aye.
And I as well. What's left on our agenda is, we talked about it briefly at our last meeting, but question of the Memorial Day meeting. I know I will be away. So the question is, do we cancel the meeting or reschedule it? Based on what we're seeing currently, I don't see any reason for us to reschedule it, especially specifically when really don't know I personally won't know what my schedule will be to reschedule it for another day. So if board members don't object to it, I'd rather just cancel that meeting.
Okay, good.
Board members, is there any issue or challenges?
No.
My only concern is if we suddenly get flooded in
Yes,
April.
It happens
So
feel
sometimes.
bad for
could we
people.
revisit and
No, because we have to get out to,
submit.
yeah, we have to hit.
The thing is, there are pretty many in the next two meetings, but we've done this before. If we don't have enough people to really vote, it doesn't make any difference. It's kind of useless, but then we're rehearing. We're just,
Okay.
it doesn't further the,
So the motion
You.
would be to cancel May 28th meeting of the Architectural Board Review.
Okay, I make a
So
motion that we cancel the meeting of the Board of Architectural Review and Historic Preservation on May 28, 2018.
Motion by Christina, is there a second?
I second the motion.
Second by Susan. All in favor, Rob? Aye. Christina? Susan?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. And now, maybe we should have some dialogue there. Preston, no? Okay. Motion to close the meeting of the Architectural Board of Review and Historic Preservation for March 26, 2018.
I make a motion that we close this meeting of the Board of Architecture Review and Historic Preservation on May 26, 2018.
Motion by Christina, is there a second?
I second the motion.
Second by Susan, all in favor, Rob? Aye. Christina? Susan?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well, good night.
Good night.